sports and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good morning, welcome back to another deadline stream for Game Week 27. A pretty uneventful week for me, but some people are going to be on wildcards. Some people are not sure what captain to go for. So there's still going to be quite a lot to discuss. But my team is pretty much locked in. I don't see the captaincy changing. I don't see the bench changing. There's no transfers to make. We'll discuss all that next week when we think about selling Haaland. Anyway, how are we all doing? Nice trim, yeah. I'm not going to have any hair left soon. It's gone. It's gone. I need to just accept it. I'm bald now. Send the tweet out. The tweet is scheduled to go at 9:45. In fact, it should have just gone. Yeah, there you go. It's gone. It's all right. We're prepared. Don't worry. We're prepared. We're prepared. I just replied to another tweet as well about the weather. Looks pretty sunny in Leeds. Just need all the Brighton players now to do well that are under 100% effective ownership. Remember when Brighton had a favourable double and we all captained Dunk? That was a little bit different though. Brighton are very good right now, especially in attack. The defence is great too, but the attack is brilliant. I watched most of the second half of the Betis game, but I didn't actually get to catch the first half, annoyingly, which actually was probably the better half, looking at the highlights. I know you love a double game week captain, but if you were choosing a single game week one, who would it be? Probably Salah. Bit of bias probably there. I mean, do I really have Salah Kane ahead of Haaland? Would I actually do that if I had to captain someone this week? I'd probably go Haaland because I'm boring, but I'm going to go Salah. What's with this Mac 10 hype? Well, first of all, he's now called Mac 10. This is McAllister, so that's great. It's a great FPL nickname. I think it's only the FPL community using that. March is surely the better decision. Well, right now, McAllister's getting some pretty good numbers, XG, expected assists, etc., while he's playing in this number 10 position. So it really comes down to how long you think he's going to play there for, and it could be a while. Could be a while with Lallana out. Like, a lot of Brighton fans seem to think that at any moment he could get moved back, but that's not what's actually happening. So I feel like he's kind of punt's probably the wrong word. I think he's worthy of consideration over March. Now, I went for March because long term, maybe McAllister doesn't stay there, and I want that Brighton player for a long time, but I might regret it. If I was picking again, I think there's every chance I would just go McAllister. Probably a little bit of knee-jerk based on last week as well. I'm not bench boosting, no. Like, I could do it and not worry about the international break then, but I'm not going to do it. Will I get Liverpool team news? Probably not, because I haven't asked for it. So very unlikely. Also, it's not very often, like I've said loads of times before, I don't get sent the whole team, for one, and it's very hit and miss about which players I get told about. Like last time when, the second game of the double, when Darwin played, like I got loads of players then. I knew that Tsimikas was starting over Robertson. I knew Darwin was starting along with... was it Jota? I think it was Jota, yeah. But everyone else got the news around the same time anyway, so it didn't really matter. So anyway, short answer, no, probably not. Nick, start 2, bench 3. Odegaard, Almiron, Watkins, Zinchenko, Chilwell. I think you've got to start Odegaard. I think if Chilwell had a slightly better fixture, I'd put him right up the list because of how attacking he can be. But I think Leicester away is actually quite tricky to keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to... Almiron... I'd probably play Watkins, to be honest. I really don't think the weather in Leeds is going to be an issue for what it's worth. Because at the end of the day, there's been no real... Apart from the FPL community talking about it, there's been no real media coverage about possible postponements. And if anything, the weather's got better, not worse. So I'm not really worried. I regret not getting Chilwell on wildcard. Yeah, it would have been nice. 2 free transfers, 0 double game week players, wildcard intact, safe for 33. To fund Greenwood to Tony, who to sell to get a midfielder, Salah, Saka, Rashford or Haaland. I mean, I wouldn't sell Saka because he's got a double. He plays in 28. Salah's got a double. I got to be honest. I mean, I haven't really given this much thought, so I don't know if I can help you that much. But to get a midfielder, you'd have to sell one of the midfielders, right? Like, how does selling Haaland help you? So you'd have to sell Salah, Saka, or Rashford. Good luck. I don't know. Thing is, like Salah and Rashford have both. You're gonna want Salah and Rashford very soon from 29 onwards. Rashford's got the better double, so I guess you sell Salah, but before Bournemouth away. Good luck with that. You got a horrible decision if you want to save your wild card that long. Like you could sell Haaland, but then you have to make another transfer to get a midfielder. That's the issue. Like, if anything, Haaland's probably the one I'd want to sell this week out of those 4. But I don't think that helps your midfield problem. Match of the Day challenge tonight. No. I mean, to be honest, I almost never watch Match of the Day on Saturday night, if I'm honest. So I'm usually in bed before it finishes. Like 10:30, it's so late. You can just go and watch the highlights on YouTube. Like last week, I recorded it and watched it on Sunday morning. And the thing is, as much as like I'm with them, like the fact that they don't want to do it and stuff. I usually skip all the talking anyway. I just watch the highlights. That's why I like watching it the next day. Would you do Sanchez to Raya or Steele, not bench boost in 27? I'd probably go Raya for safety, but I've got to be honest, I kind of like the Steele pick. The more I've thought about it, what are the chances he loses his place in the next however many games they got? I worked it out yesterday, 15 games, I think. It seems unlikely, doesn't it? I feel like he's going to put him in and he's going to get a run of games. And they have got more double game weeks to come, but Raya just feels a bit safer right now. Just feels a bit safer. Is Martin Odegaard playing? We don't actually know, but he was only ill for the game midweek and he did travel, so I don't think it's that bad. So I assume he probably will be, but we haven't got any news about it. Watkins or Martinelli? To play this week, I would play Martinelli, I think. Villa are away to West Ham, aren't they? I mean, it's not a bad fixture, the way West Ham have been playing this season, but I think I'd go Martinelli. Trippier or Shaw this game week? Ooh. That's a good question. Both attacking, both in good defences, both with a good fixture. I'd almost flip a coin. I guess I don't know. I'm gonna say South. I would play Shaw because I think Southampton might be a slightly better fixture than Wolves, but there ain't much in it at all. Salah captain, tell me I'm wrong. If you want to go Salah captain, go for it. Play Odegaard or Watkins. Odegaard. I guess there is a slight risk with Odegaard that he's benched and comes on, but I think he'll be fine. So I'll say Odegaard. Yeah, if you want to captain a single game week, go for Salah. Although everyone's only so sure about Salah because he put 4 returns past Man United. It all changed at that point. Everything he touched turned to gold. Ahmed, thank you very much for being a member for 19 months. Should I bench boost with Kepa, Martinelli, Botman, Zinchenko? I mean, you basically got the same bench as me. I'm not going to bench boost. I'm going to wait till 29, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a bench boost for sure. Depends whether you want to take the risk that there's no issues by game week 29. That is the risk, essentially. Is there any part of you tempted to move March to Mac 10? 0. There is 0% of me tempted to make that move this week. On a wild card, Odegaard or Martinelli. It depends how soon you're going to get rid of him, because at the end of the day, Nketiah hasn't been training, I don't think, again. Jesus isn't back yet. I think Trossard might be injured as well at the moment. So Martinelli's minutes in the short term are pretty good. If you're going to keep hold of that player longer term, I'd probably still just stick with Odegaard for the safety. But in the short term, Martinelli is probably slightly better. Mac 10 is a thing. Gabriel Zinchenko. I mean, I like Gabriel, but Zinchenko got a recent assist, so everyone just piled in on him instead. So the crowd seems to like Zinchenko. I still like Gabriel. Take your pick. Who's your favourite? Do you want that goal threat from the set pieces, or do you want that open play threat for assists? I don't think there's too much to split them, really. Kane or Salah, I'm on wild card. I think if you have to pick one, it's got to be Kane, just because he's got a game in 28. But don't get me wrong, not fun getting rid of Salah before Bournemouth. Bench order: Botman, Yonto, Tarkowski. I don't even know who Tarkowski's got. I'm going to check in a second, but whoever he's got, I can't imagine he should be ahead of Botman. And Yonto has got Everton away, right? No. Sorry, Brighton at home. Everton at home to Brighton. Brentford. Christ. I guess I don't actually know whether Nyonto should be ahead. Home game against Brighton, not exactly easy. I'd be tempted to go with the order you've got. Botman, Nyonto, Tarkowski. Shakalaka Mekaleka. This reverse game week was a huge turning point of the season when Trent scored, when many transferred him out, and many who captain got burnt by Haaland's hat-trick. This double game week might have huge impact as well. Yeah, don't remind me. When I'm pretty sure I captain? I'm pretty sure I captained Salah a lot at the start of the season. So I probably did. But I'm pretty sure I captained him against Bournemouth. Game week 4. Yeah, game week 4. Haaland gets a hat trick. I know people think I say it all the time. I don't feel like I say it that much. But how unlucky can you get to captain a player like Salah at home to Bournemouth, and they score 9 goals, and he's not involved in a single one? The beating by Haaland at the start of the season was so unfair. It was ridiculous. He gets a hat-trick the week Liverpool scored 9 goals. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, to be fair, Man City did score 4 the same week. And Haaland was great. I'm not trying to deny that, but my God, 9 goals. And now I've wildcarded him out. He's going to absolutely smash it. I can tell, sorry. Dyer and Saliba, who would you recommend to start? Spurs have got I'd probably start Dyer, I think. Did he get rested the other day? Did he get dropped? He's probably going to be back, isn't he? Yeah, I'd probably play Dyer. Ferguson and Salah or Kane and March? I think for the next couple of weeks, Kane and March. Felix or Tony? I mean, Tony by a mile, I think. Especially with a double this week. And just hope he doesn't get suspended or banned anytime soon. Best Brentford defender to choose for 4.6 or lower. Thinking of Veltman or Henry. Or Pinnock, I guess. Veltman's pretty nailed on, right? I mean, I guess it depends whether you need... It depends whether you need them in... Veltman's actually the top scoring defender for Brighton. Yeah, I mean, he's nailed-ish, it looks like. He has missed a few games. I don't know if he was injured. You'd have to go and look it up. I'd probably play... I'd probably play safer and get a Brentford one, I think. I think if you go to Brighton, you want Estupiñán or Dunk, ideally. I mean, the other one worth mentioning is probably Webster, but again, he missed a bunch of games. I don't know if he was injured at some point. Where's the snow, Andy Fish? There's no snow. There might be a bit of snow. People, if you're in Leeds, let us know. Is there a bit of snow? Yeah, so it looks like Webster was injured for a bit. Then he didn't play. Then he only played a minute. Then he was on the bench. Then he only played a minute. So I don't know if he's completely nailed. And with Veltman, let's have a look. Yeah, Veltman not in the squad. Then he only played 1 minute. Then 31 minutes. Then 90. Then he was on the bench. So he wasn't necessarily injured recently. He has played like 90 minutes a lot in the last few games. But I just don't know if it's worth the risk. So I'd probably go for one of the Brentford defenders, even though they're maybe not quite as good. Zaha or Salah over the next 3 game weeks. So Zaha's got a double this week, a game in 28, and 1 game. So he's got 4 fixtures. Salah's got 3. But honestly, I think I'd rather go Salah and just have him for later on. You get 1 less fixture, but you also save 1 more transfer because you're definitely going to want Salah. I'd go Salah, I think, because Zaha's got a double this week, but Salah's got Bournemouth, and then when he blanks, I mean, it's not exactly a great fixture for Salah in 29, to be fair, but saves you a transfer down the line. So I think I would go for him. I mean, you could make a case to start with Zaha, put money in the bank, and just use a transfer, even if it's a hit, to get Salah back. That could be another option. But if you don't want to do that, then I'd probably start with Salah. Saad, how's it going? 6 months member. I got Sanchez last week on wildcard. Should I switch to Steele or play Kepa and reassess in 29 for the bench boost? I would be tempted just to get Steele. I think game week 29. I know there's an international break, but it's 3 weeks away. If Steele's lost his place in 3 weeks, that would be incredibly unlucky. I feel like I would take the risk and just get the double this week. That's what I would do. I'm not saying there's no risk involved with that, and it will be really annoying if he loses his place at some point. But I feel like I would do that. I feel like I would. I think if you're only bench boosting 29, you can definitely make a case to delay the decision. I'd be tempted to just do it, I think. I mean, the optimal play is probably to wait and just take the hit on the fixture this week and get more information. But realistically, you're only going to see a few more games anyway before 29. So I feel like I would just do it and then hope for the best. And then don't come back and kill me if it's wrong. Anyone got an outside-the-box captain pick? Like I've gone Mbomo. Yeah, Mbomo, Estupiñán, Evan Ferguson. They could all be options. I'm not sure there's too many others, really. I mean, Zaha and Ward-Prowse if you want double game weekers. Start Chilwell or White? So White, I would just go Chilwell in that case because I think Arsenal have got a good chance of a clean sheet against Fulham. But Ben White doesn't... I mean, he literally just scored. He doesn't have a huge amount of attacking upside, whereas Chilwell does. I feel like there's a chance that Fulham and Leicester might both score this week. So I'd probably just go for the more attacking player in that case. Captain Estupiñán or Raya? I think if you think that Estupiñán starts twice, and I think there's a very good chance he does, I think you go for him, don't you? For the attacking potential. Brighton probably a better defence as well. Obviously, Raya can get save points and stuff, but I think I'd go Estupiñán. Palace is City's bogey team. Well, let's hope that's not... Well, they scored 4 goals against them last time. It was 4-2. Let's hope it's not the same this time because I want people that have sold Haaland to be punished because I got punished heavily last week. Havertz, Felix, or Watkins? Right now, I'm probably going to buy Watkins if I'm going to buy any of them. But I think there's a chance when I get to game week 28, I'm just going to think I want to do something a bit different and go for a Chelsea player. I think the penalty situation's made João Felix a little bit of a tougher buy because Havertz now also looks pretty much as nailed, and he'll be on penalties too. Seems to be first choice. I'm gonna say Watkins is the safe pick. The fun pick is probably Havertz. The middle ground might be João Felix, I guess. Which game week do you plan to do wildcard guide still? I'll see. I'll see. I don't know. See how we feel. Probably when lots of people are wildcarding. I'm not. It won't be every week, that's for sure. 28, 29, 33 maybe. I haven't used my triple captain yet, so should I use it this week on Matoma Tony or wait for another double game week? I think it depends when you're thinking of using your other chips. If you don't think you're going to use a chip in game week 34, you could save triple captain for them because you've got Salah with... So I should say Salah hasn't got a guaranteed double that week, but he probably will double in game week 34, and he would have Spurs at home and Fulham at home. So I know Spurs isn't necessarily great, but it's all right, especially when it's at home. So 2 home games for Salah, and Haaland would have Fulham away and West Ham at home, I believe. Although there could be another. I don't know if that's guaranteed, but anyway, Haaland should have a double that week as well. So even if like Haaland got injured, you've got your backup of Salah or vice versa. And I think I would just prefer that over going for Tony or a Brighton midfielder this week. Now, if you're going to use a chip in 34, then there's one more double after that in 37, and there'll be a smaller double again for Brighton players. But at that point, I'd probably just use it this week. But if you're not using chips later on, you could definitely wait and just see what happens with the rearranged fixtures. I don't think this week is as exciting as the last few weeks have been. Start Trippier or Odegaard. I would probably start Odegaard because I don't like. Thing is, I don't like benching attackers, but I also don't like benching Trippier with home games against Wolves. But I'd probably go Odegaard. Probably no early lineup today. No. I feel Tony double game week feels like Dennis last year. Tony is nothing like Dennis, right? Let's before, I know you're saying it beforehand, but there's going to be a lot of hindsight after this game week, as there always is in double game weeks. Tony is on 5.9 points per match for the season. Tony is great. That's only, by the way, Tony's on 5.9. Kane's on 6.3. Now, bearing in mind everyone, and he has had a fantastic season, Harry Kane. Absolutely fantastic. But think how much praise he's got. 26 attack and returns. Like, Tony's on 18. He's not that far behind. Only 0.4 per week worse off, which over a season is quite a lot. But for someone that was only 7.5 million, like, Tony's great. He's nothing like Dennis. I've got 3 Brighton and 3 Brentford, but I've got Sanchez. So I swap for Steele as I can't bring him right and play Kepa. I'd be tempted to get Steele if you're happy to go with the risk. Tony captain is quite boring, yeah? I agree with you. Complete FOMO move. Haaland, Martinez, Zinchenko to Salah, Trent and Bomo for -8. I mean, yeah, but you might set you up better for 29, but Martinez and Zinchenko both play in game week 28 and Salah and Trent don't. So unless you're free hitting, I don't see how that's a good move, to be honest with you. If we don't captain Matoma, do we need him to blank to benefit our rank? We won't know until afterwards. I would say there's a good chance that McAllister and Matoma both, and maybe even March, both all get close to 100% effective ownership. Hopefully they'll be just under, but it's hard to know. Basically, you go on live FPL. Like, honestly, I would try not to get too worried about this because it does make effective ownership makes FPL worse. It does, knowing it. I'm not saying anyone is wrong for highlighting who has effective ownership over 100, right? But it does make FPL worse because when you know about it, you're before the game week's even starting, you're worrying about which one of your players you need to blank. It just sucks. It sucks so much. You're 4 points ahead of me, yet 300,000 places. That doesn't sound right. I don't think things aren't that tight, are they? Maybe I've got my points wrong. Haaland for who in game week 28? I'll worry about that. Worry about it next week. I'm probably going to go Watkins for Bournemouth at home, then the double, but I might go for a Chelsea player. I'm tempted. This is a big water bottle, but I'm trying to drink more water. So this is like is it half a gallon or something? So it's about 1.8 litres, I think, or something like that. Who uses gallons? So if I drink 2 of them, I'm up at about 3.6 litres of water a day. That seems all right. I don't usually drink 2 full ones, but it makes me drink more water in general. And also it means I buy less bottles of water. Odegaard or Watkins this week? I'm going to say Odegaard, I think. I have Kane, Haaland, Felix. Do I sell one for Tony? I probably would, and I would probably sell... if you have to sell one, I think it's got to be Haaland. Play Watkins or Felix or Martinelli. Member for 17 months, Sheriff. Thank you very much. I'm gonna. Oh my god! I'm gonna say Martinelli. I'm gonna say Martinelli. I think I would actually go backwards. Martinelli, then Felix, then Watkins. So I fancy presenting match today. They did ask, but I'm loyal to the FPL community, so I can't do it because it would involve travel. It means I would have had to miss the deadline stream. I'd probably miss the knee-jerk stream tomorrow. And you know me, I'm loyal to FPL, so I've said no. They did ask. Worried that weather conditions and lead style of play can turn a niggle into an injury for March. No, not really. I think sometimes people say you're overthinking, and really you're just thinking, but that does seem like overthinking to me. Do 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 do. Imagine actually saying sell Haaland. Like what could possibly go wrong there? Why did you pick Tony for captain? Yeah, pretty much for the double game week. You thinking about Trippier over Gabriel? Yeah, just because of the home fixture. I do think Gabriel's great though. I've got a bad feeling about my bench this week. I'm not bench boosting, no. But actually, right, the way they used to do the bench boost was so much better, right? So this is bench boost off. This is bench boost on. Like it's just that rubbish line. Like in the past, the best season was actually the one where, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I once bench boosted McNeil and he got 14 points. And it had a dark green background. It would change from like light green to dark green. Like this line is rubbish. Who designed this? On, off, on, off, on, off. You'd hardly notice. Sort it out, lads. I didn't go to the Galway game. Oh, no, I went to the first home game and I was supposed to be going yesterday and I just didn't make it. I saw it was like 4-0 in the first half. They win 9-1. Oh. Damn, I'm gutted now. I have to watch them again. As a genuine question, how do you pick what questions to answer? I'd be seriously impressed with your reading skills if you had the chance to read them all. Yeah, just whatever catches the eye. I mean, sometimes I read a question and think I don't need to answer that. I'm not going to answer that. So, yeah, we'll just see. We just see. Mac 10 captain. He ain't bad. I've got my captaincy order in the ticker above my head. You would rather pick Rashford captain over Tony. Double on form, let alone forget. Wait, double on form alone. Forget the double game week. Yeah, sure. Go for it. Absolutely, go for it. Would you go Odegaard to March for a -4? Yeah, I'd be tempted if it doesn't mess you up too much for game week 28. Sell Salah or Haaland to fund Tony and Mac 10. Mac 10. I think it's got to be Haaland. But again, good luck with selling Haaland. If you were to wildcard this week, what would you change from last week? I feel like people pose those questions basically saying, I'm wildcarding. What would you change from your team? I'd probably get McAllister instead of March. And I would probably have to think a bit more. I did a wildcard video if you want to check that out. I'd probably have Salah somewhere instead of Odegaard. Duncan, how is it going? Bench headache. 2 Brighton mid, Saka or bench boost. Two Brighton mid, Saka, Rashford, Salah, Haaland, Kane, Tony. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Havrea, yeah, Kepa, Tripp. I mean, you got a similar bench to me, right? No, Kepa, Gabriel, Perot, like Southampton. You don't need to bench boost him. I mean, what's your actual bench? What's your actual bench? My guess is no. You probably shouldn't bench boost if you plan for game week 29. Why isn't March flagged if he's injured? He's not injured. What about Steele and 2 Brentford defenders? It could work. Depends how else you're set up, I guess. Last 3 game weeks, McAllister has more expected goal involvement than Tony and Matoma combined. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I am worried about McAllister. I think I've made a mistake. I think I probably have made a mistake. I think I basically, my March pick is banking on McAllister getting moved deeper. And if that doesn't happen, it's a mistake, essentially. So yeah, but I can't do anything about it now. It's one of those players where I'm never going to have the transfer. I'm never going to want to make the move. So I just have to hope that March can do well. I don't think March is bad, by the way. I really don't. But I think McAllister playing as a number 10 on penalties, that's going to be one of those where you look back and just think, yeah, that was a no-brainer. Why didn't you just put him in? What's your thoughts on getting Liverpool players as they're in form? I wouldn't be that worried about it. They don't play in 28. The double's bad in 29. They play Arsenal in game week 30. I wouldn't worry a huge amount right now. Bournemouth defender for the double. No, to be honest. I don't know where you go. Like, there's only so many spots you can fill with defenders. I don't know where you get a Bournemouth one. I think March is good as well. Look, some of it's a knee jerk because McAllister did really well last week and March didn't, and some of it is just worry because I don't own the what. Like, there's 3 players and I can only own 2 of them, so I'm always going to be worried about the one that I don't own. I'm sure if I had McAllister, I'd be sitting there saying, "Well, March does this, this, and that," and I'm worried about not owning him. The part of it is just that, but I just think McAllister scored his first goal since game week 6 last week. And if he gets another couple of penalties over the next few weeks, you just can't complain about it. It'll be annoying, especially for someone that's owned Salah for so long with 0 penalties. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Sorry and clear, I had 8 attackers. Duncan, I'm doing good. I hope you are as well. Yeah, I know, I get it, but who's on your bench? 2 Brighton mids. 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I see. So you're having to bench someone like Saka or Rashford this week. My bad. That's my bad. I just didn't count properly. I still don't think I would bench. You're close to a bench boost because Saka and Rashford are better than Odegaard. You could do it. But Perot, Southampton defender. So your bench would be Kepa, Gabriel, Saka or Rashford, and Perot. I mean, it's close. You could do it. You could do it if you wanted to. I guess, is your bench going to be much better in 29? If it is, you just have to wait and lump it. If not, you could just do it now. FPL has become a game where you get an advantage if you own the right Brighton midfielders, so just luck. I mean, you can't just put it all down to luck. Like, people do get unlucky and lucky, of course. It's a game of, it's a game where you don't control the outcome, but it's not all luck. But yeah, of course, there can be big swings. If McAllister blanks twice and March scores a couple of goals, happy days, right? But it could quite easily be the other way around. Is Reece James nailed? He is when he's fit, but he ain't playing this weekend, so I wouldn't get him. Daniel, how's it going? Wildcard team, currently. Steele, Trippier, Estepina, Should I find a way to get an extra brighter midfielder? It would mean selling one premium. Will free hit in 28. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't have. Well, yeah, I would have an extra brighter midfielder instead of Jensen personally. I would have Mitoma instead of Jensen. That seems pretty easy, I think. Oh, you got Steele and Estepinian. I see. I don't know if I would risk. I mean, Steele, he's such a great price. I would probably drop Steele or Estepinian and get Mitoma instead of Jensen, I think. Especially if you're free hitting in 28. Will I have a full 11 for the blank game week? Nah, I'll have maximum of 10, I expect. I mean, I could take a hit to get to 11, but unless it's worth it for the long term, I won't do that. And it probably won't be. I went for Gakpo captain because only 6% owned, and Liverpool's record against Boy is crazy. In the last 7 games, they've beat them 3-0 and up. Nice. Bench. I mean, that's a huge differential. Bench Odegaard or Maddison? Probably Maddison. Probably Maddison. Need to keep the lid off this water. Oh, once again, I have just left Phoenix on him for the last 30 odd minutes. Does James being out affect Chilwell's minutes? Don't see why not. They play on complete opposite sides. The news on March, there's no news. Like, I mean, the only thing we had was De Zerbi saying he's fine, and that's it. So someone's just sent me, I've only just seen this. They sent it 20 minutes ago. Someone sent me a picture saying, I'm not in Leeds at the moment, but I've got my Ring doorbell, and this is what it looks like. So there is some snow there. There is snow there. I'm sure it's still going to be fine. March wasn't spotted in any training photos, but weren't the training photos the other day? I mean, De Zerbi said yesterday he's in the lineup or in the team sheet, right? I mean, March might be fine, but might be not fine, but we don't have anything to go on for that other than just general FPL worry. If he misses the first game, that will be absolute nightmare, yeah. But what was said yesterday was, what did De Zerbi say? By the way, March has started, I think, every single Premier League game this season. If he suddenly misses out the first game of the double, that will be super annoying. Yeah, Solly March and Levi Colwill are on the list for tomorrow. Tarek Lamptey, I don't know. I want to see how Levi is this morning before making a final decision on the squad. So it doesn't sound like he's worried about Solly March. I think he's probably fine. But I don't know any more than that. Leeds Rhinos Rugby League played yesterday. We'll be massively surprised if the game is called off. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it, to be honest. Get Gakpo and captain him. No. Start Felix or Maddison. Felix. March captain for rank gain. Just captain whoever you think's the best captain. Italian managers tend to always be honest and open too in press conferences. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, he literally, after he says Solly March is on the list, he literally then says he needs to check on Levi and Tarek Lamptey he doesn't know. So if there was any issues with March, he would have probably said it. But I don't know. I'm not really putting too much worry into it, and I'm definitely not thinking of transferring him out. Obviously, if we get some news in the next 39 minutes and 19 seconds, then it's a different story. I would just go to McAllister. Couldn't get Tony without a hit, so I had to sell Haaland. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Good luck. Is Kulusevski a good option? I honestly, I'm not sure I would go for anyone from Spurs right now apart from Kane. And even Kane, like, I've just got a bad feeling. But I think you can get away with Kane. I just the thing with Kulusevski, it's not necessarily that he's an outright bad option, especially with Forest at home, Southampton away, then Everton away. But he takes up a midfield spot, and there's so many good midfielders right now that are better than him for FPL anyway. Matoma better as captain because of the home fixture. Matoma's a great captain. If you want to go for Matoma, go for Matoma. I mean, I don't like the fact that Brentford have 2 away fixtures, I must admit, but I just don't want to change my mind at this point. There's not enough there to make me change my mind, I don't think. Bench Chilwell or Share? I feel like I would bench Chilwell. I don't. I'm in two minds because I know if I own Chilwell and I thought he was fit, which he seems to be at the moment, I just wouldn't want to bench him in any game. But I just feel like Leicester can score. I think Newcastle's got a really good chance of a clean sheet this week. It's not like Share's not attacking either. But benching Chilwell, it just doesn't sound right when you say it out loud. I think I would bench him though, but it doesn't sound. I'm not sure. It's one of those. It's one of those moves where it could definitely backfire. Bench boost with Pope, Gabriel, Shaw, and Martinelli. You could if you wanted to. I guess again, is your bench going to be better later on? Is it going to be so much better that it's worth delaying? That's what you need to ask yourself. Go and check what it will be in a few weeks' time. Like, if you think your bench in Game Week 29 might score only a couple more points, then it might be worth just not taking the risk and just doing it now. Bench Kane or Martinelli? Martinelli, I think. Out of those two. There is a little part of me... Oh my god, excuse me. Oh, I'm already knackered. There's a little part of me that wants to... Sorry, what am I going to... Oh, yeah, that wants to bench boost, but I'm just going to wait. The plan was 29. That's what I'm going to go with. I think if I was more confident in a clean sheet for Chelsea, I'd be tempted, because I think Botman and Chelsea could get a clean sheet, and I don't know, Fulham without Paulinho, can Arsenal get a clean sheet and a couple of goals? Maybe. Play Martinelli or -4 for a Brighton midfielder than 9-man in 28. I mean, the thing is, you want the Brighton midfielder really for the long term, so I'd be tempted to do it. But ultimately, if it's just 20, if you're just thinking about 27 and 28, Martinelli has the same amount of fixtures as the Brighton midfielder. So if you're not confident with that move, I would just save it because Martinelli will play in 28 as well. I don't think March to McAllister is worth a transfer. I haven't really considered it myself, if I'm honest. If someone can convince me why that's a good move, I'm down to listen. Like, can you convince me? Apart from the fact McAllister got a penalty last week. I think if you've gone March, you now just have to hope for the best. Hope for the best. McAllister's great, but I just don't think it's worth a transfer. I've just realised as well. Am I still streaming? I'm still streaming. Sorry, the chat just absolutely died then. Just nothing came through. Lamptey injury means there's a chance of Gross right back and McAllister playing deep. That should end the discussion. Do you think though? Do you think so? Can't they just play someone else right back? All it takes is a Brighton penalty and then job done. I'm not considering March McAllister. I'm not. I literally said that. Other people are though. May I be with you. Can you chain 2 chips? You can't use 2 chips in 1 week. Chilwell, James on a wild card will be benched for 20. So I think you've got to go Chilwell because James is not fit for this week. Now James it was just illness, so he might be back for 28. But I just don't think it's worth I just don't know if it's worth the risk. I'd probably go for Chilwell. He seems to be a bit fitter right now. Pranav, Ward, Trippier, Madison, Zinchenko, should I bench? I mean, for all the bench boost questions, right? I'm not going to tell you whether to bench boost or not. I think I've talked about this so much now this week. Go and see if your bench is going to be better in 29 and see if it's going to be so much better it's worth saving. And if it's not, use it now. Or if you don't want to take the risk of injuries, use it now. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's no point in me answering on an individual basis. The bench boost answer is always the same. Do you have a better bench boost later on? I mean, I'm not bench boosting what you see on the screen because I think in 29 it's going to be a bit better. And I'm willing to take that risk that I don't have a huge amount of issues by 29. But I can't really say much more than that. Haaland to Mbamo -4 and wildcarding back in 29.30. Haaland to Mbamo for I don't think I'll do it for a -4. I don't mind Haaland out this week, but a -4 for Mbamo, it doesn't feel great to me. I guess you get the extra fixture in 28 as well, so it could pay off. I guess if you include 28, then just about. But Haaland out for a -4 just doesn't. I'm not sure about that, especially for Mbamo of all people. I think you could maybe just about justify it, but it's not striking me as a transfer that stands out as really good. Shaw, March, Watkins, or Martinez, Bruno, Ferguson. Shaw, March, Watkins, I think. Is Game Week 28 a good game week to use the wild card? It could well be, depending on what your team looks like. Lots of good FPL managers I follow are going to wild card in Game Week 28. Have you considered selling March and McAllister? I don't know if you're winding me up now, or if that's a genuine question. I will not be doing March to McAllister. I don't think. So just on the bench boost questions, right? So for my team, this is the bench boost, right? Which is not bad. I wish there was, like, if Arsenal were at home, maybe I'd consider it. But it's not bad either way. My bench in 29 will probably be Raya and Henry. So 2 double game weekers, although they do have quite a bad double, to be fair. And then Kane and Saka. So Saka leads at home versus Odegaard, Fulham away. Well, I think Saka's definitely better. Kane versus, let's just say, Gabriel. Probably better for Kane, although maybe not that much. And then Botman and Kepa versus Raya and Henry with 2 doubles. With a double each against Brighton and Man United away. I think the 29 bench boost is a bit better. What if we can't get Haaland? If you can't afford... Yeah, by the way, if you're selling Haaland, make sure you've got the money to get him back because you are going to lose value on him. If you can't get him back, don't do it. Don't do it. No early team news. I'm very unlikely to get early team news this week. I've not even asked, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't get it every week anyway. Any punts next week? I'll have to have a think next week, but Sterling possibly, yeah. Sterling's the kind of player you might put on a free hit. I'm not sure I'd transfer him in. Captain Matoma, I'm telling you. Look, Matoma's great. I'm not sitting here thinking Matoma's bad. Tony is still a yellow card threat, but not for this week. To get suspended now, he'd have to get a yellow card in both the games against Southampton and Everton, and then he would miss 28 in the first game of 29. Trippier or Saka bench? I don't think you can bench Saka, to be honest. Henry or me, money's not an issue. Henry. Money will be an issue at some point. And, like, again, it goes back, like, used to say this before, like, Twitter and YouTube and stuff. Like, when I used to post a lot on Fantasy Football Scout, most people would only spend the extra money on a defender if they were way more attacking. So, for example, for Newcastle defence, yeah, you'd rather have Trippier. You'd maybe rather have Share over Botman. You know, for Liverpool, you'd rather have Trent over the rest. For Chelsea, if they're all nailed on, you'd rather have Chilwell and James over the rest. But for Brentford defenders, I just don't think Ben Mee is that much more attacking than Pinnock or Henry, so I just wouldn't spend the money, even if you've got it. If Tony gets suspended for a game week 29 fixture, is the bench boost worse than 27? Yeah, because it would involve extra transfers. Most people that have wildcarded in 26 or 27 have planned 2 transfers for 29. So yeah, it'd be a nightmare because you'd have to take a -4. But saying that, even if I wasn't bench boosted in 29, I feel like Tony would be part of the plans anyway. So I'd probably have to remove him either way. But yeah, it's not going to take much for game week 29 to be bad, essentially. Like, there is a case to be made to do it. Like, if I put my benches into like a model like FPL Review, for example, my specific bench is 3.9 plus 4.2, 4.2. So they reckon 16.9 points this week. 16.9. Hang on, remember that number. 4.4 plus 3.8. 20.7, so about a 4-point difference. I'm going to take the risk. If I have to take a hit, it would even out anyway. And also, my bench will probably look slightly different because I won't make the moves that they're suggesting. But yeah, I think the way I'm going to do it is worth waiting until 29, basically. But it might not work out. It might not work out. I'm not even really looking at it like that. For me, it's just, if this bench goes crazy, yes, it'll be annoying. But I think if I don't bench boost 2 double game weekers and Kane and Saka, and that goes nuclear in terms of points, I feel more frustrated about that. So that's why I'm going to just do it. For what it's worth, the last few... I actually haven't bench boosted a full double game week bench ever, I don't think, in FPL. And the last three seasons or so, I've always had at least 1 or 2 single game weekers on the bench because I'm much happier doing the bench boost straight after a wild card. So this is a little bit different for me, waiting until 29. But it is very close. There is a case to be made to just do it now. But the thing is, I think if I was going to do it in 27, I would have planned for it, right? I would have got 2 double game week goalkeepers. And yes, I would have gone for Sanchez and that would have been bad. But obviously, I'd be getting Steele in now, and I'd just be doing that. With a single game week goalkeeper, I just don't like it. Just don't like it as much. Any Paddy's Day stream plans? So, it's annoying that there's a deadline that day, to be honest with you. My wife's birthday is on Paddy's Day, and she's Irish. So, it's not ideal there's a Friday deadline, I'm going to be honest with you. But, I'm still doing it. Very lucky. I'm still doing it. I don't know if I'm going to get to do final thoughts, though. Okay. Would you take a -4 Raya in for Edison? Oh. I think if you need a goalkeeper in 28, I would definitely do it. If not, it's a bit closer, but I'd still be tempted. Saka, Kane, Haaland, Fernandes, which 3 to start? I mean, I think you've probably got to bench Fernandes. But again, good luck with that. Stay al fresco, thank you. Mikel, Leeds match still on, as far as we know yet. I mean, the funny... Whoa, that was a bit of a start. The funny thing is, I don't think the Leeds match has ever been in doubt. I don't think there's been any media stuff to say it's been in doubt. It's just FPL thinking. -4 for 3 double game weeks plus Darwin, or Andreas March -8 bench Darwin. I mean, it depends on the players, but the -4 sounds better to me. I decided to keep Sanchez and see how to act later on. Should I bench him or keep him in and let him get swapped with Kepa? I mean, I think you play Sanchez, right? Because I guess he could get subbed on, but realistically with goalkeepers that very rarely happens. So yeah, if it doesn't play, then Kepa comes on anyway, or he gets one of the games, and that's probably okay. In best case scenario, he gets 2. I think you play Sanchez. Let me know in the chat if you think I'm thinking about that incorrectly. Is there another double game week yet to be announced? Yes. There's going to be a small double game week where Brighton and Newcastle will double. They'll play against each other, and obviously they'll have one other fixture as well. There's going to be a slightly smaller than... There's going to be no double game weeks as big as 29. There'll be another one in 34, which will have like 3 to 4 games put in it, I think. And then in 37, it'll be 2 to 3 games. I'm out of the loop. How bad is the Odegaard flag? So he was ill for the midweek game, but he did travel, so he's probably fine. But because Arteta hasn't come out and definitely said he's fine, they haven't removed the flag. I don't even know if Arteta got... I don't even know if he had a press conference. I've got triple captain, bench boost, and free hit left. Thinking of using triple captain on Tony this week. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, free hit could be used in 32, 34, or 37. But obviously, if you want to use it in a double like 34, then you can also triple captain that week. So if you're unsure, you could just use it this week. But if you think you're not going to use a chip in 34, I would save the triple captain for them. Yeah, exactly. Because the game was on Thursday, they don't always have a proper press conference the next day. Do you think having a full squad next week would be better to just jump up a few more places? It really depends how you're going to get to that full squad. Because if you're... apparently he travelled and then fell ill. Okay, so can he recover Thursday to Sunday? I mean, it's a league game. Odegaard's been integral. Surely he'll play. Surely. Does make me a bit happier about not bench boosting, I guess, if he is a doubt. I think he's in most predicted lineups, though. Thoughts on Ferguson as a punt? I don't mind him, but he could share minutes with Welbeck. That's what worries me. Sanchez to Pope and Rashford to McAllister -4. Oh. I would just do Sanchez to steal and not do the Rashford. I don't know though. McAllister's great, but he doesn't. Neither of them play in 28, I guess. Rashford out for a -4. You're going to want him for 29. I don't know if I'd do that. If you've not got another way you can get McAllister. Shakalaka Mecca, member for 22 months. Mac 10 and Gakpo, latest price rise today. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised Gakpo went up, to be honest, but it is what it is. Mac 10, I completely get. Is it worth captaining March over Tony? It is if you think March will score more points. Cameron, how's it going? Kepa, Zinchenko, Martinez, Chilwell, bench boost. Exactly the same answer as everyone else. Do you have a better bench boost later on, and do you think it's worth waiting for that bench boost instead, or would you rather just not take the risk of injuries, in which case you could just go for it now? Mac 10 won't repeat. He's a knee-jerk. No, I think he's a good buy. If Tony does well, but I captain Matoma, how bad will that be for my rank? Just captain the player you think will score the most points. Try not to worry outside of that. I know effective ownership basically informs us that it's bad for our other players to score, but try not to worry about that when you're making your decisions if you can. And I'm not saying I never use it. Like if I think two captains are genuinely close in terms of who I should go for, and I know one is going to be massively owned, then I probably just wouldn't take the risk and just do it. But in this case, if you think Matoma's better than March, McAllister, Tony, etc., go for Matoma. If you think Tony's better, go for Tony. I'm hoping no one is over 100% effective ownership. The game sucks when you have to root against your own team. Tony will be over 100% effective ownership, I think. He has had nearly 800,000 transfers in. Mad, that is. 800,000 transfers in. Matoma has also had 800,000. Wow, they've almost had the same. 792. In fact, Matoma's had more transfers in than Tony by about 250 or something like that. 290 maybe. I don't know. Yeah, 289 maybe. Transfers, and McAllister's had 366k, March 280k, Salah 300k. I think there's a chance that Matoma and Tony are both over 100%, and maybe McAllister as well. I just think McAllister's ownership wasn't that high to begin with. But damn, that's a lot. Nearly 800,000 for Matoma and Tony. Wow, there's a lot of active players still. I'm 700k ranked. Tony or March for captain. Whoever you think is going to score the most points. For me, that'll be Tony. Haaland, Havertz, Odegaard to Tony Kane, Matoma for a -8. I mean, Havertz and Odegaard both play in game week 28. Whereas, well, I guess only Matoma doesn't. Oh, your wild card and free hit in 28 and only Brighton player Spinian. Yeah, that might work out just about if you're wildcard and free hitting. If I was buying a Chelsea defender right now, I'd go for Chilwell. Or if you want to go a bit cheaper, I would go for Fofana. I think he's only like 4.3 million. He's probably going to start most games. Liverpool win 9-0 today. Salah to get 4. It's the first game as well. I'm not even going to be watching it. And that's not me trying to actively avoid it. I'm just not going to be able to watch it. But I'm kind of glad about that. I'm not sure when to check my score and my rank because I've got no one in the first game. If I see straight away that Liverpool have won like 6-0, it doesn't matter that you've got 11 players to come. I don't know whether to watch that. In Ireland, there's always one game on at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. And this week it's Leeds-Brighton. And obviously Brentford are playing at the same time, and so are Spurs. So I've got 7 players playing at 3 o'clock. 3 Brentford, 3 Brighton, who are on TV, and then Spurs as well. I think I'll judge it by the ownership levels of Brighton. If McAllister and Matoma are both over 100%, I probably won't. I don't know if I'll bother. None will be over 100% because of the 3-4-way split, and none over 50% owned. But in the top 10k they might be. I'm not saying overall. Anyway, who cares? Do I gamble on Sanchez or use my 1 free transfer to get him out? I don't think Sanchez is playing in 27 for what it's worth. That helps. It'd be very weird for De Zerbi to play Steele, then repeat that he's better for their style, which he said when he benched him and what he said in the press conference yesterday, and then to play Sanchez. Just not going to happen, I don't think. Captain and Estepinian, Stavros, good luck to you. That's the kind of punt that I can get behind. I need Estepinian to get those attack and returns. If my team seems okay till game week 28, when do you think is best to wildcard? I mean, when you need it. Like 29, possibly, if you're not well set up for that. If you are, then you could just save it for 33. Like, I know when people wildcard in 26, it was made out like, oh, a late wildcard is just not going to be good. It could absolutely still be good, right? If you wildcard in 33, then you've got the double game weeks in 34 and 37. Liverpool, I think, can Liverpool have 2 more double game weeks? I can't remember now. City will have double, so will Man United. So you can get the best 3 Liverpool, the best 3 Man City, the best 3 Man United all at once without having to worry about using transfers and stuff like that. So there's plenty of time still to use it. If your team looks good for now, I wouldn't be panicking. Do I captain Salah over the double game week players? I mean, I wouldn't, but when it comes to single game week players, Salah is great, of course. For anyone, I know lots of people were asking earlier, for anyone that's like still wondering about Liverpool team news, I don't think we're going to get it, but I'm going to ask right now. Because it is the early kickoff. So I'm literally asking right now. Oh, I didn't say morning. Suspect they probably don't. Thoughts on a Salah triple captain? Yeah, maybe, but not until he doubles. I think Salah triple captain, that just sounds very knee-jerk to me. Like, we've spent weeks people not liking Salah, and now he's done really well against Man United. Now we want a triple captain. I don't know. Like, if you're going in a single game week, then games like Bournemouth are the time to do it. But I would rather triple captain him in his double game week, which will probably be in 34 with 2 home games. Why is no one picking Johnson? He's scoring for fun. Yeah, decent pick. But I mean, who am I dropping from these forwards, you know? Haaland to Felix. I don't see any benefit in doing that this week. Maybe in 28. David Jacobs, thank you very much. Brighton have conceded a goal away in the last 5 game weeks. Well, let's hope they don't do it this week. Why do I hate Salah? I love Salah. Salah over March today? No, I still play March over Salah, I think. Trippier or Shaw? I'm going to say Shaw, but there's so little in it, honestly. Bench Odegaard for Kulusevski for a gamble. Yeah, if you want to. Why not? McAllister or Tony captain? Tony, I've written in the ticker above what my thoughts are on captaincy. Tony, then Matoma, then McAllister, then March. Salah versus Kane this game week. I'm going to have to say Salah. Now, that is a bit knee-jerk. If Mac doesn't score a penalty last week, do you think people would even be considering for captain this week? I think less people would be considering. I think some people still would, but less people would be, yeah, for sure. I mean, recent scores always affect people's thoughts. Like, I try not to let it affect mine, but it does happen. It does happen. I just need to get through this week without getting smashed by Salah again, because that will kill me then. It already killed me last week, but to do it twice in a row after wildcard, that would be the worst. Absolute worst. Captain Mbommo or Matoma? I don't mind Mbommo captain, but I'd have him behind Tony, Matoma, McAllister, and March, and maybe even Estepinian. Maybe. If you want to hear like more reasons why I've got that order, then go and watch the Game Week preview video. You can skip to that section. Brandon, thank you very much. Trippier over Haaland? Nah. Look, I know people are selling Haaland, but let's not start thinking like he's not great, because he is still great. So as great as Trippier is, and I know he's at home, I would still play Haaland, I think. Team News and Tick said DLL Liverpool assist start. What? DLL? Yeah, I've got no news anyway. I ain't getting anything. I don't know. I can't see anything. Is it on Instagram again? Is it? FPL Raptor is having Mac 10 captain. I don't know if I should go Tony or Mac 10. You should go with FPL Raptor. Why not? All decent FPL picks start for Liverpool. Okay. Yeah, but I said something similar once. I got some team news and said, although he probably got the actual team written to him, I got told it was the normal 11, and it was far from the normal 11. Okay, no surprise. I mean, yeah, Trent's playing, Robertson's playing, Salah's playing, Darwin's playing, Alisson's playing, Van Dijk's playing. We know all that. No, I don't think there's any point in resting players for the Champions League game for Liverpool, because like they're not gonna overturn that. I don't think. Like, they've got the potential to do it, but that's so difficult to go to Real Madrid and overturn 3 goals. And don't get me wrong, I know all about Liverpool's amazing comebacks in Europe. You don't need to tell me. But I just think this is a step too far. And so they've got to get top 4. They've got to get top 4. I think they will. I think they'll get top 4. And I think Spurs and Newcastle will miss out. I think Man United will do enough to stay in, for sure. Despite the 7-0. Good result in midweek. I just think Liverpool, nothing else. I guess Spurs have got nothing else to concentrate on now either, but I just think the Liverpool attack has been pretty good all season, and it just hasn't got the goals, and it's bound to happen sooner rather than later. Salah, another goal, it's 5-0. Yeah, 5. I mean, Salah is that good, he could get 5 returns against Bournemouth. I hope he blanks, for what it's worth, for anyone that's got him. I especially hope he blanks for anyone that gave me such a hard time for owning him for ages. Especially for you people, I hope he blanks. But he's not going to. It's Bournemouth. Matoma has to be captain in this form. If you want to captain Matoma, you should absolutely captain Matoma. I'm not stopping you from doing that. If you want to captain March, if you want to captain McAllister, if you want to captain Matoma, if you want to captain Mbommo, Estepinian, Salah, Rashford, Saka, Haaland, you should absolutely go for it. Even Kane. You should definitely go for it. Liverpool were lucky last week, overperforming XG. Yeah, but that's just one game. Like, for the season, if you look at expected goals per 90, Liverpool are right behind Arsenal. Right behind Arsenal. It's very close between the top 3. If Liverpool win, they will probably sub Salah early. Salah hardly ever gets subbed. Go and look at his minutes. They've got Darwin, they've got Gakpo, Jota, etc. They can sub instead. Midfielders they can change. Tsimikas on for Robertson. There's lots of subs they can do before getting. I mean, I'm not saying they can't sub Salah, but it doesn't happen that often. That's one of the great things about him from FPL point of view. Bench Saka or Martinelli. I wouldn't even think about the effective ownership. I think Saka is just a better FPL option with the penalties. Bench Martinelli or Darwin. Ooh, I'm going to say bench. I'm going to say bench Martinelli because I think Bournemouth is that good of a fixture. Now, I don't know if Darwin starts. I just presume he will. Liverpool have midfielders. That they do. Not very good ones, generally. I don't know. Some of them are good. Bachatic, decent. Elliott's all right. I think Elliott's pretty good. Maybe not recently, but I think he's pretty good generally. Fabinho's playing better. Obviously, Thiago's great when he's fit and available. We've got some good midfielders. What pushed you towards Tony captain? Nailed on. Guaranteed minutes. Penalties. Best goal threat out of most of the double gaming players we're looking at. That's it. But again, if you want to captain Matoma or March McAllister, you should absolutely do it. Saka or Martinelli, he's their only striker now. Saka. McAllister's my captain. 2 assists coming. Good luck. What is our final decision? March or Mac 10 on wildcard? I mean, I'd probably go McAllister, but again, not a huge amount in it. Maybe a bit of fear of missing out. Bench Haaland or Saka? Saka, I guess. Over Haaland. Do you know? I might not. Do you know? I might, because I've got to do a bit of stuff this afternoon. I might not even check the effective ownership until later this evening. Just have that bliss of not knowing that if Matoma scores, I can just enjoy it up until the point I realise I wish that never happened. Maybe that's what I'll do today. McAllister's the first choice penalty taker for Brighton. Yeah. Can't wait for March to be a defender next season. March won't be a defender. No match of the day challenge. Definitely not. It's going to be a weird match of the day. Be interested to see how long this goes on for, because I think like it's quite easy for people like Lineker and Shearer to kind of take a stand because they've got plenty of money, but all the other people that are also now standing with them, fair play. But how long can they do that for? So they kind of got to get wrapped up this week. It's mad anyway. The whole situation is just absolutely crazy. You gonna watch any Nations footy? Yeah, probably. Start Trippier over Zinchenko or Martinelli. I'd start Trippier over Zinchenko. Get rid of Salah for Kane to get Salah back. Nope. I would just keep Kane because he plays in 28 as well. Change my captain from Matoma to Tony. Don't do that just because I've got Tony. If you think Matoma's better, you should go for Matoma. Honestly, Matoma's great. There's in another universe. I'm doing this, or is it universe? What's the word I'm looking for? In another dimension, I'm doing this same stream, and I've got Matoma captain instead of Tony because Matoma's great. Reality. Dimension. Does dimension works, doesn't it? In a parallel universe, that works too, yeah. In another dimension, you have Salah. I know. It's sad times. Why don't you make a stand and back Gary Lineker? Well, I'm not employed by the BBC, so that's part of the reason. Like, what would me not doing a deadline stream make any difference? Do you love GAA? No, not at all. I'm sorry to say. What's the highest points total you ever got in FPL? Not sure. Am I not worried about Tony getting a yellow? I mean, I'd rather he didn't, but it doesn't matter for suspensions. This week, anyway. Lewis Potter coming in for the striker spot soon. What? Lewis Potter? Hang on a second, isn't that... I want to check before I say anything. Yeah, he's not coming in... Well, he might come in for Tony when Tony's suspended, but... Nunez to play? I assume he will, but I've not seen a Liverpool lineup. I better check my team. I haven't done the old points to pick team refresh. I think that looks good. think it looks good. Oh, Lewis Potter's had surgery. He's out for 2 months. Well, there you go then. How's the weather? It's absolutely chucking it down where I am. Got very wet this morning doing me walk. But I had a shower afterwards, so that was good. But I'm probably going back out in it later. So not great. Not great. If that's the weather you're interested in anyway. Do I find my job stressful? Not really. Do I not have leukodine FOMO? No, not in the slightest. Oh God, now we're getting into the code of conduct. Don't think this is the stream for that. That's the important thing though. What did Gary Lineker say on Twitter? That's the important thing going on right now in the world. Why Tony? I'm not going through Tony over Matoma again. I've done it so much in this stream. It's close. You want to go for Matoma, go for Matoma. Do I still play Fan Team? I haven't played it this week, no. Sure against Southampton or Trip against... I'm going to say sure. I don't know what the weather's like in Leeds. Apparently it's okay. Apparently it's quite sunny. I'm sure it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Now, who plays better in the cold? I don't know. Matoma, March, McAllister, Tony. Who's better in the snow? Don't know. A -8 but end up with all 3 Brighton midfielders with Tony. Could possibly work, depending on who you're taking out. But you've only got 2.5 minutes to get your team locked in. Do you think Son could be a good game week punt for game week 28, then change him to Salah, doing wildcard in blank game week 28? Possibly, but I mean, there's not many punts, I don't think, in 28. So someone like Son, maybe Sterling could be options, but I mean, Spurs in general and Son this season, like, what a drop off. Absolutely insane how bad it's been. How many goals does Matoma get below 3 degrees Celsius? We'll see. We'll see later. Everton looks good under Deitch. Maybe if you want to change your decision. Have you seen how many goals Everton have been conceding since Deitch came in? I wouldn't say their defence has been great. I know you've put March last, but do you think he's a bad option? Well, I think he's the 4th best option. Turns out you frame it, doesn't it? The chat is so stupid you can't even get a proper question in. That's because people are writing stuff like, the chat is so stupid you can't even get a proper question in. You say that, but Spurs are still 4th. I know, it's kind of crazy, but I still don't trust them. And so, like, whatever you think of Spurs, if you think they've played well this season, that's fair enough. At times they definitely have. But the drop-off from Son has been incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. If Tony does a studs to face like he did last game, first game this week, people are going to get heart attacks. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're talking about the yellow card suspension. He could get a red card and then be suspended, but hopefully that doesn't happen. I wish I could use this chat to post a question. If only it was possible. Oh, actually, do you know what I'm going to quickly do? Oh, we've only got 50 seconds left. It doesn't matter, actually. You can do it after the deadline. I need to check my team one more time. Hang on. Points. Pick team. Okay, captain on Tony. Matoma Vice. Do you know what? There's not even a part of me that really wants to change it. I do think Matoma is great. And I do like captain the midfielders. And I do think the Brighton attack is fantastic right now. So I might regret that. But I'm just going to stick. All right, we're done. I'm going to do a quick captain poll after the deadline. Captain on Tony. I'm worried I've got it wrong. Odegaard, Gabriel, Botman. Maybe Botman should be ahead. Anyway, I'm going to do a captain poll. Doesn't matter if we do it after the deadline. Your game week 27 captain. I'm just going to put McAllister. I'm going to put McAllister and March on the same line because there's only four spaces. Someone else. Hey, I know it's too late to change any moves, but it's just interesting to see. Now the deadline's locked in. You can literally tell me who your captain is. It's not about who you might go for. You sold Haaland. Oh, I hope it goes wrong. Sorry to say. Oh wow! Look at this wild. I'm seeing some wild cards on the timeline here. Madison, Chilwell on the bench. There's another one here. Triple Newcastle defence. Triple Brighton midfield. Wow. Ward-Prowse as well. Watkins, Chilwell, and James on the bench. Oof. James and Chilwell. That's taking the risk that James is back. I love it. Salah was unplayable against Man United. He's going to get a few returns today. Hopefully not, but probably. Okay, let's see what the captain poll is. So we've had 3,000 votes. By the way, before you drop out, give the stream a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But vote on the poll as well. It'll be interesting to see. James is out this week, but hopefully back from next week. Harden will get some rest time before Champions League. We've been saying that all season. It just hasn't happened. So Tony's going to be massively captain by the looks of it. Ward-Prowse. Yeah, Tony, 3,500 votes, 63%. I'm going to leave it there because otherwise we'll be here all day. Scared I didn't captain a Brighton midfielder now. It is what it is. It is what it is. Matoma and Tony are going to be the highest captain. Dropping a like is completely free. So is subscribing. Doesn't take much at all. Right, I'm going to be off. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Enjoy the weekend. I'll be active on Twitter, I'm sure, although I might try and avoid some of the results today. I'm yawning. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, hopefully next week will be a bit more exciting when I'm thinking about possibly selling Haaland. But this week it was pretty easy just to roll with what I had. United's 3 games a week simply caught up in the second half against Liverpool. Not that the Scousers are suddenly brilliant and unbeatable. I mean, I do think their attack is pretty brilliant, to be honest. But anyway, we're done with the 7-0. Man United have won a game since then. Match today will be good tonight. Match today will be great. Right, I'm off anyway. Thank you very much for joining me. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will catch you again tomorrow for the knee jerk. Enjoy your weekends.